This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Mother in hot water after 3-year-old wanders into police station. A judge ordered a social inquiry report for a mother who reportedly left her child alone at home on several occasions. Asherim Fraser, 21, pleaded guilty to child neglect when she appeared in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on Tuesday. The court heard that in the latest incident, Fraser left her 3-year-old son alone in the house. The child then wandered onto the premises of the Denham Town Police Station, which is situated in close proximity to his home. The police told Senior Parish Judge Lorian Cole Montague that it was not the first time the child wandered onto the compound. Fraser explained to the court that she left her child in the care of a friend so that she could go to a remittance company outlet. The friend, Selena Reed, was also present at court and explained that she was staying with the child but left him to go to a nearby shop to buy a drink for him. "Where is the child's father?" the judge quizzed. "In Runway," Fraser replied. The court heard further that the police on duty heard a voice saying, "Shut a fire, shut a fire." Upon investigation, the police discovered the child by the cell gate, and when he was asked where his mother was, the toddler told the police, "She gone." The child was asked where he lived, and he pointed to a house across the road from the police station. "Oh my goodness, it was only the Lord who guided that child to the steps of that police station. I am concerned. This is the height of carelessness. There is no way in God's green earth that a 3-year-old child should be left to wander about," the judge said. A neighbor reportedly told the investigators that it is a regular occurrence for the child to remove window panes and open the door to leave the home when the mother leaves him alone. As the reports were read to the court, Fraser could be seen wiping tears. Cole Montague heard that the child is now in the care of his maternal grandmother. The judge ordered that a social inquiry report be done. Fraser's bail was extended until January 11, 2022. She has been ordered to report to the police station once per week. Supreme Court ruling temporarily blocks police from issuing traffic tickets in excess of 2006 rates. In a major Supreme Court ruling on Wednesday, a judge granted an injunction blocking the police from issuing traffic tickets in excess of fines up to 2006 rates. Justice Sonia Bertram Linton issued the interim order until the trial of the claim brought by Maurice Housen against the Attorney General and the Commissioner of Police. The case has also become a class action suit after the judge permitted Mr. Housen, who is a software engineer, to be the representative of other drivers and other motor vehicle owners who were issued traffic tickets and paid a fine or a fixed penalty in excess of the measures approved up to 2006. One of Mr. Housen's attorney, Gavin Goff, sought to explain the lawsuit to the news on Wednesday. Prior to the passage of the new Road Traffic Act, the fines were not being increased by Parliament in the way that they ought to have been. They were being increased by the Minister of Finance by way of an executive order, which has now been challenged in this action. The allegation is that this executive order is null and void, and that fines can only be increased by Parliament, amending the law in the way that it amends any other law, and that matter is going to go to trial in 2023, and the class action asked the court to declare that all of these tickets are null and void, and that they should be refunded to the motorists who paid these fines, Mr. Goff outlined. A ruling in favor of the claimants would mean the government could have to repay motorists for traffic fines paid over the last 15 years. Union takes issue with a COVID-19 vaccine mandate at King's House. The Jamaica Civil Service Association is taking issue with a COVID-19 vaccination mandate at King's House. JCSA President O'Neill Grant on Wednesday afternoon told the news that employees of King's House were informed verbally of the policy. According to Mr. Grant, some of the workers were subsequently barred from entering the King's House property because of their vaccination status. However, he argued that some of the employees have not yet been inoculated because they have underlying conditions and medical certificates indicating that they ought not to take the vaccines at this time.
So they have underlying conditions and medical certificate indicating that they are not to take the vaccines at this time. They were barred from entering the workplace. The JSSA would have made some intercessions, and unfortunately, the King's House authorities have indicated that King's House staff are personal staff to the Governor General, and being personal staff to the Governor General are not civil servants. So we have a serious disagreement with that, because as far as we are concerned, the civil service establishment is quite clear, and the civil service establishment speaks to who are civil servants and who are the personal staff of the Governor General.
Integrity Commission addresses a minister's claim of AAJ probe. The Integrity Commission has shot back at claims by Minister of Transport and Mining Robert Montague that he could not respond to questions about the Airports Authority of Jamaica's multi-million-dollar investment in First Rock Holdings, which breached the government's guidelines. In Parliament on Tuesday, Montague said he could not respond to questions from the opposition because the subject matter of the question is being reviewed by the Integrity Commission, which is a commission of Parliament. Montague urged the opposition to understand his failure to respond, saying, "I therefore crave the indulgence of the Honourable House in allowing for that process to be completed and the outcome presented to the Parliament." But in a release yesterday, Integrity Commission Chairman retired Justice Seymour Panton, while not confirming or denying that a probe is underway, said there was no way Montague would be in possession of this information. Yesterday, it was announced in the House of Representatives that the Integrity Commission was conducting a probe in a specified matter. Since then, there have been queries as to the accuracy or otherwise of the statement. The Integrity Commission wishes to remind the public that Section 53(3) of the Integrity Commission Act forbids the Commission or any other person from making a report or public statement in relation to the initiation or conduct of an investigation until the tabling in Parliament of a report, Panton said. This means that neither the Commission nor any other person can publicly confirm or deny the initiation or conduct of an investigation until a report has been tabled in Parliament. The term "any other person" applies to and includes parliamentarians, said Panton, as he noted that no such report has been tabled. The government has been under pressure since news broke that the AAJ invested approximately $450 million in First Rock Capital Holdings in breach of the regulations governing its operation. Prime Minister Andrew Holness declared that the issue raised issues of grave concern, but he did not say what action would be taken against the then members of the AAJ board who approved the deal. Minister of Finance Dr. Nigel Clark also admitted that the purchase breached the Public Bodies Management and Accountability Act regulations because the AAJ did not seek the ministry's approval first. As the matter bubbled, opposition spokesman on transport Michael Phillips tabled 21 questions for Montague to answer in 21 days. Among the answers being sought by Phillips are whether any board member held a directorship or was a shareholder in First Rock and whether those details have been declared. Phillips also wants to know why the recommendation not to invest the taxpayers' money in the St. Lucia registered startup company that began operations in March 2019 was not heeded. Jamaica should not give Pfizer vaccine to children aged 5 to 11 at this time, says Dawes. A member of the medical fraternity says the Ministry of Health should not administer the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine to children aged 5 to 11 years old at this time, despite a recommendation by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Advisors to the CDC on Tuesday unanimously supported broad use of the vaccine in children. But Dr. Alfred Dawes, director of the Windsor Wellness Center, says the Health Ministry should continue its focus on inoculating target groups.
Since the population is preferring Pfizer over the other brands, use that Pfizer to get persons who are more vulnerable to serious disease and death vaccinated. And the under 12-year-olds are not the ones who are going to be in hospitals from COVID-19. Give it to the obese, give it to those who have chronic diseases such as hypertension, diabetes, and the elderly, or even over age 40, 45, where we know that the risk of serious illness is greater.
The Pfizer vaccine in Jamaica is currently prioritized for people who are due their second dose, as well as children 12 years and older. 5 hospitalized from 5 crashes in 3 days. 5 people were admitted to hospital after an equal number of mishaps on the roads in Portland and rural St. Andrew over a 3-day period last week, spurring the police to urge motorists to be more careful. We are happy there were no fatalities. However, this doesn't mean that all is well. There are areas in which the road surface has deteriorated based on a number of factors. There's road construction in the east, and there are areas where the roads are very narrow, and so the margin of error is very small. Deputy Superintendent of Police Troyville Horton, who is in charge of operations in the parish, told the news. We take this opportunity to remind the motorists that they need to be cautious and take nothing for granted when operating motor vehicles, he added. In total, 7 people sought medical treatment, but 2 did not need to be hospitalized. The series of crashes began with the first mishap about 3 p.m. on October 28. It involved a white Toyota Hiace truck that was traveling easterly along the Kensington Main Road in the vicinity of Seminole Corner. There were 2 people in the vehicle. The driver reportedly lost control of the truck, which then plunged about 40 feet into the precipice. The driver and the passenger both received serious injuries and were assisted to the Port Antonio Hospital, where they were admitted in serious but stable condition. Residents looted the truck, making off with its cargo. However, a metal chest was recovered from the vehicle and handed over to the Manchonil police station for safekeeping. About 8:30 a.m. on October 29, a Honda Odyssey was traveling along the Stony Hill Main Road towards Port Antonio when the female driver reportedly lost control of the vehicle, which hit the left embankment and overturned. The driver and her son, who were the only occupants of the vehicle, were injured. They were taken to Port Antonio Hospital, where they were treated and later transferred to Anota Bay Hospital. Later that night, a cement truck overturned at Paisley Gardens and its occupants escaped without injury. There were also 2 traffic mishaps on October 30. About 11:10 a.m., a white Toyota Tacoma truck loaded with building blocks were traveling up a hill along the Bonneview Main Road in Port Antonio. According to the police, because of the narrowness of the road, the driver stopped to give way to an oncoming vehicle when he lost control of the truck that began to run backwards down the hill. The female occupant of the other vehicle attempted to jump to safety. However, both she and the vehicle plunged into a precipice. She received several injuries and was taken to Port Antonio Hospital, but later transferred to Kingston Public Hospital, where she was admitted in stable condition. The other mishap occurred about 8:20 p.m. involving a green Toyota Prado traveling along the Bryans Bay Main Road in Port Antonio. A white Toyota Corolla motor car traveling in the opposite direction was in the process of overtaking another car when the Corolla collided with the Prado. Both the drivers received injuries and were taken to the Port Antonio Hospital, where they were treated and released. DSP Horton, who said his team will be stepping up monitoring the roads, stressed that public education and the exercise of good discipline are also critical to road safety. He urged greater caution, especially during the upcoming Christmas season. As we get into the Yuletide season, it's even more imperative that motorists use the roadways responsibly. It defeats the whole purpose of life to be penny-wise and pound-foolish, Horton warned. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.